Hey, it's Robert Weinberg, your mortgage advisor and financial coach. In this short video, I wanted to talk about the main do's and don'ts when you're buying, refinancing, and getting a new mortgage. Doing over 1,000 loans now in my career, I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I find it's very important to set the right expectations with all my clients up front so you know what needs to be done or shouldn't be done during the home loan process. So I want to talk about really the top 6 do's and top 6 don'ts of getting a mortgage. First of all, let's talk about the do's. So, first thing you want to do is you want to make sure you get pre-approved as early as possible in the process. As I talked about in other videos, a lot of issues can be handled with time if you have time to work on things and time to figure things out and strategize with your mortgage advisor. So you want to really get with your mortgage advisor at least 2 to 4 or as many as 6 months ahead of when you're actually looking to get a mortgage to make sure that everything's in line, your credit is up, your income, everything that needs to be done is where it needs to be to get a smooth mortgage process. The second thing is you want to work with professionals. So I have a lot of people that will get real estate and mortgage advice from their parents, their grandparents, their brother, sister, their hairstylist, co-workers. Nothing wrong with talking to these people, but you don't want to get advice on the mortgage and real estate process from people that are not professionals. So the professionals you want to work with are going to be a licensed real estate agent, and you want to have a licensed mortgage advisor to be advising you on both ends of the process if you're buying or if you're refinancing. Make sure that you have a trusted mortgage advisor that has experience in the type of loan that you're trying to get and is really good with communication and setting expectations with you. Trust is a huge thing, so you want to make sure that the professionals you're working with are trustworthy. The people that are in your life that you're talking to, you know, you can let them vent to you, but at the same point, don't take their advice. I've seen a lot of people get incorrect or just straight up bad advice from people that have no real expertise or licensing in the real estate or mortgage field. The next thing is going to be your credit. You want to make sure that you understand your credit. Good, bad, or ugly, you want to know where you stand with it. So that's why it's important to get pre-approved early in the process and meet with a mortgage advisor early so that if you have those type of credit issues, you can understand where they're at and what needs to be done to fix or at least to solve the issues that you had in relation to your mortgage process. Next thing is communication. So throughout the mortgage process and home buying process, you're going to need to be communicating quite a bit with your real estate agent, mortgage advisor, home inspector, and the other people that are involved. So it's really important that if you're not on top of things normally, that you check your emails often, you check your voicemails often, you respond to any requests quickly and accurately. If there are documents being asked for, you'll want to make sure you get those over quickly, which brings me to my next point on the do's of buying or refinancing, which is to obtain and organize all the documents that you're going to need. Now, there are going to be one-off requests through the process, but the main documents that you're going to want to have available and organized are going to be most recent 2 years of tax returns and any extensions that you may currently have for that. You're going to want to have any divorce paperwork or child support documentation, paycheck stubs for the last 30 days, the last 2 years of your W-2 forms. If you're someone who owns multiple properties, you're going to want to have tax and insurance documentation for the property that you own, as well as mortgage statements if you have multiple mortgages. There are some others, but that should be a good start. And like I said, there will be one-off requests through the process. So when the underwriter goes back to your mortgage advisor and asks them for certain things, they're going to communicate that to you, and you want to get those things quickly and communicate and ask them questions if you don't know exactly what they're asking for and need clarification. And the last but not least on the do's of home buying and refinancing are going to be you want to have a paper trail of all money coming in and going out from your bank account. So a lot of the time you'll have money go into a bank account that may need to be sourced. So that will require that you show documentation. So for example, if you had a yard sale and sold something, you're going to need to document that for the underwriter. At the same point, if there's money going out, it may be questioned by the underwriter. If there's a large withdrawal that's not really clear where it went, they may ask you and you may need to document that. So you want to keep all those type of documentation handy so that when that does occur, you're ready to go. Now let's talk about the don'ts. So these are huge and you want to pay close attention to these don'ts. The first don't is you don't want to go house shopping without knowing what you can afford. This goes back to saying that you want to get pre-approved as early in the process as possible. You don't just want to go on Zillow or go with your realtor and just start looking at $400,000 or $500,000 houses if you have no idea what you may be approved for, because you're wasting everyone's time. If you're only approved for $250,000, looking at a $400,000 house, again, is a waste of everyone's time that you're working with. The next thing is, huge piece of advice here, you do not want to apply for, open, or close any credit lines or co-sign any loans. So when you go and you apply for credit somewhere, that actually shows up as an inquiry on your credit report. The underwriters typically will do a final credit check before closing, and if you've applied anywhere, it will show up on there and they will scrutinize it and want to verify that you have not opened any new accounts. I've seen many home purchases and refinances that have been derailed because somebody went and they go to a furniture store getting excited about buying a home and they started purchasing furniture and took a credit line out. That could completely derail your process and, God forbid, actually make it so your loan won't even be approved at all at that point. So do not apply for any type of loans once your mortgage is in process. The second thing is you don't want to open or close any credit lines because that could have a detriment on your credit report. And then lastly, you don't want to co-sign any loans or apply for any loans with anyone as a co-signer. That can be a huge detriment as well to your credit report, and God forbid, the extra payment, even if someone else is going to make it, the underwriters don't know and we can't prove that, so they'll count that against you. And I have seen several circumstances recently where that would actually cause a mortgage that was approved to become denied. Next thing is you don't want to be slow to respond to your loan team. So as I mentioned earlier, when there's one-off requests that come up and documents are needed or information's needed, you want to respond to those requests quickly and accurately. So check your email often, check your voicemail, and respond to any phone calls quickly, ideally within a couple of hours. If not, definitely 24 hours or less on all requests. The sooner that you can get those requests fulfilled, the quicker you'll be on your way to a smooth sailing closing. Next thing is making major purchases. So you don't want to go and liquidate a bunch of money out of your bank account to buy, as I said earlier, furniture or buy anything that's going to be a huge burden on you financially. That's going to be a big red flag to your mortgage advisor and the underwriters who are working on your loan. So avoid making any major purchases until after you've closed on your refinance or your home purchase. The next point that I want to get to on the don'ts of home buying and refinancing is changing or quitting of jobs. So I have had it happen once in my career that a client actually was in the process of refinancing and quit their job the day before closing, and unfortunately they were not able to close because of that. So you don't want to make any changes to your job at all, your job title, your pay, or anything of that nature while you're in the process of getting a mortgage. And God forbid, quitting your job, that could completely derail the process, and in most cases will make it so your loan will not be approved at all and won't go through. So don't make any changes or quit any jobs during the loan process. Last but not least, you do not want to make any large cash deposits into your bank account other than your paycheck. So if there's any deposits that are going to be made into your bank account that are more than 25% of your pay at your job, you're going to want to discuss it with your loan officer and mortgage advisor as quickly as possible so they can help you put a plan of action. But in most cases, you're not going to want to do that at all. And if you do, we're going to need to document where that money came from. So if you sold something, we're going to need a bill of sale for that. If you got money from someone, we're going to need to document where the money came from, get a copy of the check. And in many cases, we're going to need to get a letter along with that to show that they gave you a gift. Again, it depends on the particular circumstance. So if you are planning on making any large deposits, discuss it with your mortgage advisor first. Hopefully this has been a great value to you. I know it, as a mortgage advisor, is a huge value to me knowing that my clients have this information up front before starting the mortgage process. If you do need help or advisement when it comes to getting a mortgage, whether you're buying a home or refinancing, you can reach me on social media by sending a private message or give a call or text my office. The direct number is 860-413-3938. Talk to you soon.